Kenji paced back and forth, his mind swirling with thoughts of the future. He had been working hard on a project for weeks, but the pressure to succeed was weighing him down. What if it doesn't go the way I planned, he thought, the anxiety growing inside him. What if all this effort is for nothing? Seeking guidance, Kenji went to the Zen Master and asked, "Master, why does it feel so heavy when I have high hopes and expectations for something? Why am I so afraid of failure, even before it happens?" The Zen Master listened thoughtfully and nodded. He smiled at Kenji and said, "Let me tell you a story about a young sculptor named Sato." The Zen Master began. Sato was a talented artist, known for his intricate sculptures. One day, he decided to create his greatest masterpiece, a sculpture that would bring him fame and admiration. He spent months working on it, pouring his heart and soul into every detail. As the sculpture neared completion, Sato's anticipation grew. He imagined the praise he would receive, the recognition, and the rewards. However, as the day of the sculpture's unveiling approached, Sato began to feel anxious. He worried about what others would think. What if they don't like it? What if it doesn't live up to my expectations, he thought. The night before the unveiling, Sato couldn't sleep. His mind raced with thoughts of failure, and the weight of his expectations pressed heavily on him. In the morning, when the time came to present his sculpture to the world, Sato was so overcome with anxiety that he couldn't even enjoy the moment. The applause from the crowd felt hollow because Sato had been too focused on the outcome, on the praise and recognition, instead of the joy of creating. A wise man in the crowd saw Sato's discomfort and approached him after the event. "Why do you look so unhappy, young sculptor?" he asked. Sato replied, "I spent months working on this sculpture, hoping it would bring me fame and recognition. But now, even though it's finished and people admire it, I don't feel the joy I expected." The wise man smiled and said, "Your disappointment comes from your attachment to the outcome. You became so focused on what you hoped to receive that you forgot the joy in the work itself. The weight you carry is not from the sculpture, but from your expectations." Sato realized then that his anxiety and dissatisfaction had come from placing too much importance on the result. He had allowed his desire for success to overshadow his love for sculpting. In that moment, he understood that true fulfillment comes from the act of creation, not from the praise or reward that may follow. Kenji listened closely, feeling the weight of the story's message. He, too, had been carrying the burden of high expectations, hoping for a specific outcome, instead of finding peace in the effort itself. The Zen Master continued, "Kenji, like Sato, you are placing too much weight on the future. The expectations you carry are what cause you suffering. True peace comes from detaching yourself from the outcome. Focus on your work, and let go of what may or may not come after. The joy lies in the process, not in the result." Kenji nodded, feeling a shift within. He realized that his fear of failure wasn't rooted in the work itself, but in his attachment to what he hoped the outcome would be. "But Master," Kenji asked, "how do I let go of these expectations when they feel so important?" The Zen Master smiled gently. "You let go by understanding that the future is not in your control. The only thing within your power is the effort you put into the present moment. The results are never guaranteed, but the peace that comes from doing your best, without expecting anything in return, is always within reach." Kenji took a deep breath, feeling the tension in his body ease. He realized that by letting go of his expectations, he could find joy in his efforts, regardless of what the future held. Kenji, expectations can be heavy because they bind us to the future. When we focus too much on what we hope to achieve, we lose sight of the present. True fulfillment comes from doing your best, without the need for validation or specific outcomes. Let go of what is beyond your control, and find peace in your efforts. Have you ever felt weighed down by high expectations, like Kenji? How did you manage to find peace in your efforts, even when the outcome was uncertain? Share your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've dealt with the weight of expectations in your own life. Remember, expectations can feel heavy, but they are not your burden to carry. Focus on what you can control, your effort, your actions, and your presence in the moment. If this story helped you see expectations in a new light, like this video and subscribe for more wisdom-filled stories. And share this story with someone who may be struggling with the weight of their own expectations. In this story, we learn that the weight of expectations comes from our attachment to the outcome. When we place too much focus on the future, we lose sight of the joy and fulfillment that come from the present moment. True peace comes from detaching ourselves from specific results and finding satisfaction in the effort itself. The outcome may never be certain, but the work we put in is always valuable.